Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. O Lakers quer melhorar o sistema defensivo e vai contratar novos jogadores para temporada. O gerente Rob Pelinka quer aproveitar as oportunidades e conseguir grande defensor sem gastar muito dinheiro. Ben Simmons é uma boa oportunidade defensiva para o Lakers ter uma roda que o forte defensivamente. The Los Angeles Lakers roster will look a lot different in a few months. Regardless of how far the Lakers advance in the upcoming NBA playoffs, big changes are on the way this offseason as Lakers GM Rob Pelinka will begin crafting a long-term roster plan around newly acquired superstar Luka Doncic. It's easy to imagine what types of players Pelinka will go after. Lob threat centers and 3-and-D wings pair well with Doncic. On the other hand, Pelinka and the Lakers might make a move or two that shocks the NBA. Believe it or not, when LA Clippers asset Ben Simmons becomes an unrestricted free agent this offseason, Pelinka might check in on Simmons, who is represented by Clutch Sports Group's leading agent Rich Paul, a close friend of LeBron James. Simmons isn't going to attract a robust market based on his diminished reputation as a guy who's barely ever available, so the Lakers might be able to snag him on a cheap deal. The former number 1 overall pick and Rookie of the Year from 2018 is still just 28 years old, and there's time for him to resurrect his career if he's interested in doing so. For Simmons to rekindle his value on the Lakers, he'd have to destroy the notion that he's a point guard and instead serve as a small ball 5 for Los Angeles on the offensive end while providing versatility on defense. J.J. Redick has done a splendid job since the Luka Anthony Davis trade of keeping the Lakers' defense strong despite lacking a lot of size on the depth chart. Redick clearly knows how to build a team defense, even with less-than-ideal roster situations. Plug the 6'10" former Defensive Player of the Year candidate Simmons into Redick's game plan, and Simmons could turn into a great defensive force yet again. On the offensive end, Simmons' inability to shoot is a terrible fit for the Lakers. There's no reason to ignore it. Luka and LeBron thrive when surrounded by floor spacers, and Simmons is one of the worst outside shooters in the league. But if Simmons could evolve into something of a rim-running big man on offense, he could be of value based on what he provides defensively. People have given up on Simmons, and he certainly hasn't proven that he loves basketball enough to will himself toward a second era of productivity in the NBA. In fact, Simmons' complete lack of availability at times has resulted in him becoming somewhat of a disgrace to large segments of basketball fans. But for a low price, Simmons would be an interesting guy to take a chance on, especially given his ties to LeBron. Wild stat-proof Luka Doncic will help Lakers' Austin Reaves realize potential. Luka can unlock AR-15's full potential. Los Angeles Lakers guard Austin Reaves has become one of the breakout stars of the 2024-25 season. His ascension has been progressive and well documented among Lakers fans, as Reaves has improved across each of his 4 NBA campaigns. 2024-25 has been a remarkable step forward for Reaves, primarily as a scorer, a development that has led to dominant team results. Reaves is in the midst of a season during which he's on pace to set new career best marks in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and three-point field goals made per game. It would mark the 3rd consecutive season during which he's increased his averages in every one of those areas. That's even more impressive when one considers the specifics of his averages at 18.8 points, 5.9 assists, 4.3 rebounds, 1.1 steals, and 2.5 three-point field goals made per game. For as impressive as those numbers are, they pale in comparison to the more specific details of his success. That includes an impressive 22 games during which Reaves has scored at least 20 points, already up from the 21 times he did so during the 2023-24 campaign. Most significant of all is the fact that the Lakers are 19-3 when Reaves scores at least 20 points during the 2024-25 campaign. Lakers are 19-3 when Austin Reaves scores 20-plus points. Reaves has become one of the most important players on the Lakers roster in 2024-25. A significant reason for that was his emergence as the team's de facto point guard after D'Angelo Russell was traded to the Brooklyn Nets for Dorian Finney-Smith. Reeves has certainly excelled, averaging 6.6 assists per game since Christmas Day and posting 8 games with at least 10 dimes. One simply can't overlook the Lakers posting a 19-3 record when Reeves scores at least 20 points. It's unavoidable how much better Los Angeles is when he's scoring at a high level, albeit with an acknowledgement of the fact that it's 10-4 when Reeves posts a minimum of 8 assists. Thankfully, the arrival of Luka Doncic has positioned Reeves to focus more on scoring and thus gift the Lakers their optimal approach to winning. Doncic is one of the most prolific scorers in the NBA, but he's also a top-tier facilitator. He boasts a career average of 8.3 assists per game, including 8.7 since his second season, and averaged a career-best 9.8 in 2023-24. With LeBron James continuing to thrive as one of the greatest facilitators in NBA history, the Lakers now have one of the best playmaking combinations imaginable. Reeves will continue to provide value as a playmaker, but he can now make scoring his primary focus. He can be less reluctant to shoot in favor of simply making the right play, and develop the aggressive streak that has consistently led to victories in 2024-25. The Lakers may have planned for Reeves to be their point guard, but with Doncic in the mix, they can finally utilize their rising star to his full potential. Jeanie Buss initially did not want to trade Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic. The Los Angeles Lakers shocked the basketball world last month when they made a blockbuster deal to acquire Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first-round pick. The trade came as a shock in large part because only Rob Pelinka, Nico Harrison, Jeanie Buss, and the Dallas Mavericks governor knew about the deal as it was coming together. All parties agreed that secrecy was the best way for a deal of this magnitude to actually get completed. Once it becomes public information, it can easily fall apart for any number of reasons. And it was especially important for the Lakers, as they were the ones receiving a generational superstar at the front end of his prime. But Buss has since revealed that she was against the idea when it was first presented to her by Pelinka. On the Games with Names podcast, she explained the process of the deal and why everything happened the way it did. At that point, that's when Rob was at the game and he met with the GM of Dallas. And they had a conversation. And Rob thought about it for a day and then came to me and said, "Here's something that was talked about, a framework." And I said, "Well, I hope you told him that we're not trading Anthony Davis. We're not trading him." And as we talked more and more, we figured out a framework that could work. And then the rest went on, and I said that what the most important thing is that if the conversations become public, it could blow up our season. Because now you have a player who thinks they're going to get traded, it's hard for them to recalibrate. So it was completely kept under wraps, and I think that's why it took everybody by surprise. Buss has always been among the most loyal governors in the sport. She truly loves her players and does not like trading people away, especially superstars. The Lakers have built a star-friendly reputation dating back to Jeanie's father, Dr. Jerry Buss, and she has done her best to not disrupt that model in the years since she took over. But she realized that this was a deal that could not be passed up. And she also knew that by keeping it under wraps, the Lakers' season would be salvaged regardless of whether or not the deal eventually came to fruition. Jeanie Buss regrets breaking up 2020 team. After winning a championship in the Orlando bubble in 2020, the Lakers made wholesale changes to their roster in hopes of being even better the following season. They let go of key players like Danny Green, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, and Rajon Rondo while bringing in Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell, Marc Gasol, and Wesley Matthews. For a while, those changes appeared to be good ones as the Lakers started off 21-6 in the 2020-21 season. Unfortunately, injuries then set in after essentially having no offseason due to the pandemic. The Lakers were never able to recover that year, losing to the Phoenix Suns in the first round with both LeBron James and Davis compromised physically. The Lakers have been trying to recapture that 2019-20 magic ever since, as despite some successful seasons, they have yet to get back to the NBA Finals. J.J. Redick, Dorian Finney-Smith helped turn Lakers season around. Dorian Finney-Smith made his debut with the Los Angeles Lakers on December 31 after being traded from the Brooklyn Nets. He was brought in to be a wing that could hit open shots, but more importantly, be a defensive stopper in JJ Redick's system. And it's undeniable the impact he's had since his acquisition by LA. The Lakers are 19-8 in games Finney-Smith has played in since the trade. They have the 4th best defense in basketball since that date to go with the 10th best offense and the 6th overall net rating in the NBA. It's been a night and day difference between when the Lakers didn't and then did have Finney-Smith on the roster. And Redick is fully aware of the impact that Finney-Smith has had since joining LA. He broke down exactly what it is about Finney-Smith that has made him so important to the team's success and credits him with getting the Lakers to where they are now, via Eric Slater of Clutch Points. He's brought a level of toughness. Certainly communication and the spirit to want to defend. I think guys have responded well to who he is as a player, a teammate, a person. He's just fit right in, JJ Redick said of Finney-Smith. Our season kind of turned around, the energy and spirit of our group turned around when we got him. He's been huge for us. The Lakers acquiring Luka Doncic will forever be the main story of the 2024-25 season, but the Finney-Smith deal was the first thing to get the gears turning in LA's favor. And if the Lakers had not done that deal, there's almost no chance that the Doncic deal would lead to championship contention in year one. It's Finney-Smith's defense that allows the Lakers to have a real chance to compete despite not having a starting caliber center, as he has set the tone for what the Lakers are doing both within the scheme and with his energy. Bobby Portis, Bucks fired up to beat Lakers. The Lakers take the court next on Thursday night against the Milwaukee Bucks, a marquee matchup even without LeBron James. And while the Lakers will be motivated to end their 2-game losing streak, Bobby Portis of the Bucks says the team has an even greater motivation than just a regular season win. They want to beat the Lakers for Darvin Ham, the team's former head coach who was let go in the offseason for Redick. It's clear based on quotes from the Bucks and from Ham himself, that there is a feeling that he was treated unfairly by LA.